So the reason we are publishing this video on the YouTube channel first in today's show is because at 8:30 a.m. PST, which is when this video is going to be public, SKA St. Petersburg has themselves a hockey game against HK Sochi. Now, you know that I pre-record these videos the night before, so for SKA and Sochi, the game will be starting pretty much at the same time this video is uploaded on YouTube, which gives us a really good opportunity to just kind of give a benchmark update as to where everything is with Montreal Canadiens prospect Ivan Demidov. Now, I'll say this. The reason we're making this video is not because specifically of Demidov's performance in the Sochi game or in any games prior, although the Sochi results will definitely impact the way the comment section plays out. But the interesting thing about Ivan Demidov is that if you take a look at his overall production and you take a look at some of the numbers, his point per game number actually declined a little bit over the past few days. He's at 19 points in 24 games played right now, on pace for 54 points in 68 games. Not bad in the slightest, but you will note that Demidov has gone 2 games without a point. Firstly, in a game against Silayev, wherein he had 14 minutes time on ice, he scored 0 points in a 4-2 loss. And then against the Kunlun Red Star, SKA St. Petersburg lost this one 2-1. Demidov had 8 minutes time on ice on the game, and he scored 0 points. So, interestingly enough, this team actually has been losing a little bit. They scored 2 goals in the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl game on Wednesday, but they lost that one 3-2. Guess what? Demidov had a goal and an assist. So Demidov is coming off of what is a 7-game point streak, wherein he scored himself, what is that? 11 points in the thing? Yeah, that's what it is. 1-1, 1-4, 1-1-2. 11 points in this 7-game stint, only to be followed up by 2 donuts on the board, and a significant reduction in playing time in the most recent game. However, this is not going to deter the KHL themselves, because what the KHL posted earlier yesterday was their Weeks 7 to 9 KHL player rankings. And essentially what this does via the KHL website is it calculates a score based on a variety of statistical indicators. For example, for goalies, the average number of shots saved per game is taken into account, and the average number of goals conceded per game is subtracted from the overall value. For D-men and forwards, in addition to points, the plus-minus indicator and the average number of takeaways, hits, and block shots per game are taken into account. And for forwards, goals scored at even strength on the penalty kill and on the power play are separated. What this means is that the KHL players ranking is essentially a players ranking. It takes a look at all the different players around the league and says, okay, this is the guy who's been the best, and then all the ones that follow. Ivan Demidov was ranked first overall in the entire league by the KHL. He's got a 4.45 score from weeks 7 to 9, so a 2-week sample. Second place is Martin Gernot, third place is Evgeny Kuznetsov, fourth place Sergei Plotnikov, fifth place Alexander Nikishin, sixth place you've got Pavel Poryadin, seventh place you've got Tony DeAngelo, eighth place Steven Kampfner, ninth place Arthur Kayumov, and then in 10th you have Maxim Motorygin. Now, you'll notice that out of the top 10 names in the KHL, literally 5 of them are from SKA St. Petersburg, which just goes to show you how good this team really is and why it was such a big deal when earlier on in the season they were losing games. A lot of people were talking about Roman Rottenberg, the head coach over there for SKA, and saying that he wasn't doing a good job. It wasn't just us Montreal Canadiens, folks. If you tuned into the Russian social media outlets, you would have seen fans on there calling for Rottenberg's dismissal too. But then it became a little bit okay, because the team started to win games, and Demidov started scoring points, and he no longer played very limited minutes, and a lot of people were starting to be happy about that. But it does not change the fact that SKA St. Petersburg is still very stacked and very good, which kind of makes things difficult to fully process when you acknowledge that Ivan Demidov's ice time is still hovering in that teens mark, and even in games like the recent one against Kunlun, it dipped down to 8 total minutes. I mean, SKA, they post their roster, their lineup before every game, and you can see even in the most recent game against Kunlun, Ivan Demidov was still listed as a third-line guy alongside of Evgeny Kuznetsov. He was there, and for some reason, he ended up not playing as much as Evgeny Kuznetsov did in that particular contest. Of course, I get it, 2-1 loss, it was a tight game, whatever, but like, still, Evgeny Kuznetsov in that game had himself a whopping 18 minutes of time on ice, but his line mate, Demidov, only had 8. So what's going on there, man? What's going on? Anyways, with Ivan Demidov, there are a lot of people kind of memeing about this, saying, oh yeah, like, Roman Rottenberg ignores the list, he doesn't really care, and he's not gonna go out there and believe in his guys more because of this ranking. It is just good, though, to see that from a KHL league-wide perspective, they're doing their part in giving us the scoops on Ivan Demidov, saying, hey, doesn't matter if he's not scoring points in his previous 2 games, it doesn't matter if he's getting 8 minutes of time on ice, he is still literally the best player in the league. And in a league where he is definitely not near the top in overall point production, it does kind of bleed into the conversation of him not getting as much ice time as he should be, because you have other guys like Nikita Gusev and Josh Levo, for example, who are leading this league in points. Not to disrespect Gusev and Levo and any of these other guys who are near the top of KHL point production, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is a conversation we have every year. Just because a guy's good at scoring in Russia doesn't necessarily mean he'll be good at scoring in the NHL. Take a look at how many guys who were NHL busts or NHL duds had produced crazy numbers last year in the KHL. Reed Boucher, Goldobin, Jordan Wheel, Ryan Spooner, a lot of guys that just don't really have it in them. So the difference here is Ivan Demidov is doing all of this at 18 years old, and in the limited ice time, he is still finding himself ways to produce some of the best statistical numbers compared to everybody in the league. Of course, when you include the ice time into the equation there. So by the time this video is uploaded, of course, the HK Sochi SKA game will have gotten underway. I don't know, maybe Demidov scores a goal, maybe he scores a point, maybe he gets something, maybe the SKA team gets shut out, who really knows? But for now, this is where we're at. We might have another conversation later on that dives into the numbers of this game and the others, but either way, I wanted to go out there and present that Demidov is literally the best player in the KHL, according to the KHL itself. The only question is whether or not Roman Rottenberg and the SKA coaching staff will believe in this vision and give him more ice time. Who knows? Please don't give him only 8 minutes. I get that there is an argument that exists that says, oh, maybe they're trying to limit his ice time. Maybe they're giving him better matchups. Maybe they're not trying to overwork him, this and that. And then you realize, wait a minute, he is still only getting played 8 minutes of time on ice a game. Sometimes. He gets more than that other times. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this Ivan Demidov update, how he's literally the best player in the league according to the league itself. What does this say to you, Montreal Canadiens fans? What are your thoughts on how he has been playing as of late? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.